Prince Harry didn't just miss a deadline. Prince Harry may have just exposed a pattern the palace has been quietly tracking for years, a pattern King Charles finally refused to tolerate.
It's only, 3 days into the weekend already? It has turned into probably one of Harry's worst weeks in 30 years.
Why have you done this to yourself? You were popular, you were beloved, and you smashed it all to pieces.
They are middle-aged teenagers, right? This is what they are. No, but this is exactly what they are. The way that they react, the pettiness, the shallowness, the superficiality, the nonsensical issues about which they get upset. This is the sort of stuff you expect from 16-year-old girls, this sort of behavior, and we're getting it from middle-aged people.
I feel sorry for the king with this because he's been played, I think. The palace have realised too late that he's being played.
If this were a job and not a family, this guy would have been fired. They would have changed the passwords to his email accounts. They would have changed his passcode to walk into the building.
I mean, he has lost his marbles, hasn't he? I mean, he's gone completely crazy. He's never going to get this security, these armed cop guards he demands whenever he comes to Britain. He's never going to get it.
King Charles offered his son a room in Buckingham Palace, his own home, the same palace where he grew up, where he learned to ride a bike in the gardens, where he watched his mother leave for the last time. Charles said, "Come, stay here, bring your family, we'll make it work." This wasn't just an invitation. This was King Charles extending something dangerously rare vulnerability, a king battling illness, a father standing in the middle of history and heartbreak offering Prince Harry a way back in, and not quietly, not casually, publicly enough that it mattered, personally enough that it hurt if ignored. But what did Prince Harry do? Nothing.
Can't get involved. Yet by offering him a place to stay, I think when he was told his grandchildren were coming, he was just doing the right thing.
And Harry said nothing for days. No reply, no confirmation, no phone call, just silence from California while palace staff waited, while rooms sat empty, while a 77-year-old man with cancer held a door open that nobody walked through. Silence, not confusion, not hesitation. Silence, and in royal circles, silence is never empty. Silence is a decision. Silence is power. Silence is delay calculated or careless, but never accidental. So why did Prince Harry stay silent when King Charles was waiting? Was Prince Harry negotiating behind the scenes? Was Meghan Markle involved in that delay from California? Was the silence a tactic or a test? Because here's where everything starts to unravel.
He took too long to make a decision on that, and as a result of that, now we are talking about the king putting his foot down, saying that you're no longer allowed to be in Buckingham Palace.
And then, at the last possible moment, Harry's team called, "We'll take the room." Just Harry, not Meghan, not the children, just Harry. And the palace said, "It's too late." Too late, 2 words. Cold, final, controlled, and suddenly the entire story flips. Prince Harry wanted the room, but only at the last moment. Only when something changed. Only when Meghan Markle and the children were no longer part of the plan. Why? What happened between the silence and the sudden acceptance? Because this wasn't just poor timing. Prince Harry knows the system. Prince Harry grew up inside Buckingham Palace. Prince Harry understands the machinery behind every single royal decision, which makes this next part impossible to ignore.
Therefore, unclear why, having formally accepted the accommodation offer, it has now been withdrawn at the last moment. Prince Harry touched down here in London alone, wife Meghan and the kids staying away for now.
Now, I want you to understand what too late means in this context. This is Buckingham Palace. They don't just open a room and leave a key under the mat. There's staffing, there's security suite, there's protocol, there's a process. And Harry, who grew up inside that process, knew exactly how long it takes. Exactly, Prince Harry didn't just miss a deadline, Prince Harry crossed a line he knew existed. And if Prince Harry knew the timeline, then why didn't Prince Harry respond?
Team saying about 24 hours ago that he'd accepted an offer to do so.
Well, palace officials say Prince Harry initially declined the invitation and later changed his mind after the deadline had passed, leaving him too little notice to make arrangements.
He knew the deadline, he knew what end of last week meant, and he still didn't reply in time. The question isn't whether the palace withdrew the offer, they did. The question is, why did Harry wait? That question hangs in the air like a warning, because waiting changes everything. Waiting turns an invitation into a rejection. Waiting turns reconciliation into suspicion. Waiting turns a father's open door into a locked gate. And then comes the contradiction, the kind that doesn't just raise eyebrows, it fractures trust. Sources said the family initially turned the offer down on Saturday. Turned it down. A room in Buckingham Palace offered by his own father, turned down. Then changed their mind 2 days later when it was already too late. Turned it down. Then changed their mind. 2 different decisions. 2 different moments. 1 irreversible consequence. So who made that first decision? Prince Harry?
So all along, they initially said, we're going to be staying at Buckingham Palace, and we're going to bring the children, and this is going to be the first time they're going to see each other since 2022, and they laid it out to all the people in the media, and now they've backtracked on that.
They've done that a few times before.
All along.
Meghan Markle, both together? And more importantly, what changed in those 2 days? Because something clearly did. And that's when the story stops being about a misstay and starts becoming something far more explosive. And here's where it gets interesting, because Harry's team didn't just accept the rejection quietly. They issued a statement, a pointed one. They said, we formally accepted the offer.
This is a couple in Harry and Meghan that have squandered a wonderful opportunity to rehabilitate their public image and to recalibrate their royal credentials. They had it all going for them, Rupert.
They said, we don't understand why it was withdrawn. They said, Buckingham Palace has been aware of the relevant details since last Thursday. Now we have 2 versions of reality. Prince Harry's version, King Charles's version. And both cannot be true at the same time. Because if Buckingham Palace knew everything since Thursday, then why was the offer withdrawn? But if Prince Harry delayed, then why claim confusion? This isn't miscommunication, this is narrative control. And it gets even sharper. So now we have 2 stories. Palace says Harry didn't reply in time. Harry says we accepted and were rejected. One of them is not telling the truth, and the one who has spent the last 5 years writing books about the palace, doing Netflix documentaries about the palace, going on Oprah about the palace, is asking us to believe the palace is lying again. And suddenly, the past crashes into the present. Prince Harry's interviews, Prince Harry's documentaries, Prince Harry's book, each one built on exposing the palace, each one questioning trust, each one rewriting perception.
Which is really odd because we've known that he's coming for weeks. And the second thing is, why on earth is it in public? There's clearly different teams briefing. Harry's not a briefing. The king and his team are briefing.
So now, when Prince Harry says the palace is wrong, why does King Charles seem completely unmoved? Because this time, King Charles didn't react emotionally. King Charles reacted structurally. King Charles didn't argue. King Charles closed the door. And that decision didn't just leave Prince Harry outside Buckingham Palace, it left Prince Harry in a hotel, alone in London, while King Charles remained inside the palace. And here's where the story stops pretending to be about logistics and starts revealing something much colder, much more deliberate. Prince Harry wasn't just left without a room in Buckingham Palace. Prince Harry was left without protection from perception, because while King Charles stayed inside Buckingham Palace, surrounded by protocol, legacy, and control, Prince Harry stepped into a London hotel not as a royal returning home, but as a guest with no place inside it. And that image matters, because this wasn't supposed to look like this. This trip was supposed to be the reunion. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Archie, Lilibet, all together. King Charles finally seeing Archie and Lilibet after 4 long years. A moment powerful enough to reset everything. A moment public enough to silence critics. A moment emotional enough to rewrite the narrative. But Meghan Markle stayed in California. Archie stayed in California. Lilibet stayed in California. And Prince Harry arrived alone. Not delayed, not accompanied. Alone and suddenly. The question changes again, because now it's not just why Prince Harry waited, it's why Prince Harry came without Meghan Markle, without Archie, without Lilibet, knowing exactly what King Charles has been waiting for. Because King Charles isn't just a monarch right now. King Charles is a grandfather who hasn't held Archie. King Charles is a grandfather who hasn't seen Lilibet grow. And yet Prince Harry still arrived without Archie and Lilibet, while asking for access, for space, for time inside Buckingham Palace. That imbalance doesn't go unnoticed. And according to what's quietly being said, King Charles didn't ignore that detail. King Charles reportedly made something very clear: no grandchildren, no priority. Let that sink in. King Charles, a father, placing conditions on seeing Prince Harry, because Prince Harry arrived without Archie and Lilibet. That's not distance, that's a boundary. And when boundaries appear in royal relationships, it means something has already broken. But it gets even more controlled, more calculated, more unsettling. Because even the meeting, the one still technically possible, doesn't look like a reunion anymore. It looks like containment. Prince Harry in a room with King Charles, but not alone. Staff nearby. Private secretaries ready. Conversations monitored. Endpoints pre-planned. Even something as simple as tea suddenly becoming a reason for someone to remain in the room, watching, listening, waiting. That's not family. That's supervision. That's what happens when trust is replaced with structure. And Prince Harry knows that. Prince Harry understands that shift. Prince Harry has lived inside that system long enough to recognize when a conversation is no longer personal when it becomes managed. So why walk into that unless Prince Harry needs something? Because here's the pattern nobody can ignore anymore. Every time Prince Harry appears, something follows. A project, a statement, a release, a narrative shift. And now whispers are building again. A new commercial move, a new announcement, a new reason for Prince Harry to be seen close to the royal family, even if that closeness is only surface level. Because distance doesn't sell the same way proximity does. And King Charles sees that. King Charles has seen every version of this before. The interviews, the documentaries, the timing of every appearance, the way private moments somehow become public narratives. So this time, King Charles didn't block Prince Harry from coming. King Charles blocked the pattern. No last-minute changes, no flexible timelines, no emotional pressure overriding protocol, just a simple line, too late. And that line did something no interview, no book, no documentary could undo. It shifted the power. Because for the first time, Prince Harry wasn't controlling the narrative. King Charles was. Prince Harry arrived in London expecting movement. King Charles stayed still. Prince Harry adjusted the plan at the last moment. King Charles refused to adjust at all. And in that stillness and that refusal, something final starts to form. Because this isn't just about one missed stay. This is about 6 years of repeated cycles: offer, delay, condition, reversal, fallout. And King Charles may have just ended that cycle without saying it out loud. No confrontation, no public argument, just a closed door, a hotel room, and a silence that feels very different this time. Because this silence doesn't feel like hesitation anymore. This silence feels like a decision. And the most unsettling part, Prince Harry is still in London. King Charles is still in Buckingham Palace. The meeting is still technically possible, but now it would happen under rules, under eyes, under conditions that didn't exist before. So the real question isn't whether Prince Harry will meet King Charles. The real question is, what version of Prince Harry walks into that room now? And whether King Charles is already prepared for an answer Prince Harry hasn't even given yet.